Hello. Whew. It is Chris here in the 4 News Now First Alert Weather Center. What a day it has been. A lot to talk about. We're going to talk about today's windstorm for most of the time and then talk about the forecast because it is nowhere near as exciting as what has happened today. I'm going to start off with the peak wind gusts recorded around the region. These are just the top numbers. Spokane, the big winner/loser at 71 mile per hour gusts. Post Falls, a 70 mile per hour gust recorded. Pullman, 66. Coeur-d-alene, 61 miles per hour. And at Phelps Field near Spokane Valley, 59 mile per hour wind gusts. This is a graphic that Mark Peterson saved for me from 6 o'clock this morning of when the winds were peaking and sustained winds there in Spokane. And that little brown, I've never seen brown on this map before. I will say we did not have this particular map in 2015, but you'll notice that the colors go with that key at the top representing the gusts, and that is when we were in that 60 plus mile per hour wind gust range. And yeah, it was centered right on Spokane and Coeur-d-alene, and the bullseye of this wind event didn't move much today. It stayed right about where it was, although it did change colors, thankfully. I want to compare and contrast this briefly with the windstorm in 2015 because it was more similar than it was different. In terms of the peak wind gust, exactly the same, 71 miles per hour. The duration, however, of 60 mile per hour and higher winds was much greater in 2015, and that is going to end up to be the key difference in the amount of damage between these storms. Those 60 plus winds are the ones that do the most significant damage, topple your ponderosa pines, etc. And I think just one measure of the damage, the power outages with this event. We've had about, at its peak, 100,000 people without power. My house is still without power, by the way. And in 2015, it was over 200,000 people without power. I was out power for a week in 2015, by the way. The area most affected, Spokane, Coeur-d-alene in both locations, and the path of the storm very similar. The big blow, some of the huge wind events of the Pacific Northwest, the storms come up from the south. The big wind events in the inland Northwest, they come east to west along the Canadian border. You get that tremendous pressure gradient going over the Continental Divide, and that is what happened today. Okay, here are the winds right now, and when I say right now, by the time I post this, it's going to be much calmer. Right now it is just a little, going on 6 o'clock on Wednesday evening. And the winds are in the teens in Spokane and Coeur-d-alene, sustained. There again, the bullseye right over Spokane and Coeur-d-alene. Wind gusts less than 30 miles per hour. These winds will be light by tomorrow morning. Folks can get clean up the mess, get started in many cases. Some days, some houses, it's going to be months and months. Here's our 48-hour forecast. The low pressure that brought the winds is now zipping off to the east. We have high pressure building in for tomorrow. It's going to be a beautiful day. Blue skies, sunshine, temperatures in the 30s. Front comes through on Friday afternoon, bringing a slight chance of a few valley flurries or sprinkles, but most of the wet weather will be in the mountains, and it's not going to amount to much. And then we head into a dry Saturday. Here is your planning forecast. Tomorrow will be gorgeous. Now that high of 37 is above average, but down from a high of 52 today. Possibility of some mountain snow on Friday from that system zipping through. Dry Saturday, slight chance of rain or snow on Sunday, slight chance of snow on Tuesday. No big systems on the way, no big windy days on the way, and things are improving as we speak. I did not go into the tremendous damage around the region. On KXLY.com, they have photos and stories, and it is heart-wrenching. If you want to take a look there, I'm hoping that things are okay at your house and that you are nice and safe. I do have one final thing that I do really want to express to you, and that is to check on your people, please, particularly the elderly or folks living alone, to make sure they have power. Especially the elderly, they've been so cooped up with COVID. If their power is out, they're going to be cold tonight. There are groceries that are so hard to come by anyway, maybe going bad in the fridge, and they might just need maybe no help, but maybe just to know that someone is looking out for them. So if you can think of a neighbor or a friend or a relative that might just need a phone call or a knock on the door, please do that. It has been more than once that I have mentioned it as an aside on the news, and someone has written or called me to say that they did that and found their neighbor or friend in bad shape. And so if you would do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. I greatly appreciate you. Tune in tonight on 4 News Now Nightside at 11 o'clock. I'll be talking about the smooth sailing and the weather, but we'll also hear more stories of the things that went on today on another historic windstorm in the inland Northwest. Thanks for watching.